Hello, this is Thomas, K4SWL. If you're new here, I like to do real-time, real-life amateur radio field activation videos. And today, I am at Zebulon Vance birthplace, which has become like a weekly thing for me. And I'm happy about that. I love this site. Once again, today I have the picnic shelter to myself. I checked in really early this morning with the staff here, and they said, nope, buddy has it reserved. Really, this time of year, it would be school groups that would have it, and if they have it, then they've got the whole thing. So I've got it to myself. I've got more time to be on the air today than I normally do. So I'm looking forward to really spending a decent amount of time on the air, like over an hour, which is kind of rare for me. This should be really nice. Before I get started though, I always forget to do this near the beginning of the video. I usually say something at the end. But I'd like to thank everyone who supports me here on the channel and at QRP.com that are a Patreon supporter or a Coffee Fund supporter. I really, really appreciate that. It means a lot to me and makes my frequent field reports and activation videos happen, because it allows me to open up my schedule to fit in the time to do the really hard work, which is what I do after I do my filming. Now, a lot of you know, if you're not new here, you'll know that my videos don't have a lot of editing in them, and I do that for a number of reasons. But one of the reasons why is because it saves me time in post-production. So I have a little bit of post-production to do, but not nearly as much as it would be if I edited my videos. But when I first started this, I decided I didn't want to edit videos. I want them to be what they are, see what it's like in real life as if you're here with me, which is what I really enjoy about these videos. I feel like you are, and I feel like a lot of you are, and I appreciate that. But again, thank you so much. I really appreciate the support, and there's nothing more rewarding than doing something you really love and other people support you because you do it. So thank you. Today, I went ahead and deployed my antenna. This is the Chelegance MC-750 vertical. And the reason I went ahead and deployed it is because I wanted to spend all my time doing the rest of the setup and being on the air instead of filming this. It didn't take me 2 seconds to do this. In fact, I think the last time I was here, maybe even the previous 2 times I was here, I filmed putting up this antenna. So this antenna has been filmed a lot of times being deployed, which is one of the reasons I don't feel too guilty about skipping it today. I've got it set up with all 4 ground radials, just in an X pattern, and you can see that the vertical is pretty much kind of right angle to the ground. Not completely, but that's perfectly fine. I've got it set up to 10 meters right now, because that's where we're going to start today. And yeah, so we'll see if 10 meters is doing anything. I haven't checked propagation today. We have had some really crappy propagation from time to time here recently. This is probably going to be published a month down the road, so conditions have probably changed. But during this time, those of you who've been out operating and activating will know that it's been difficult. There have been a couple times we've had radio blackouts. I mean, proper radio blackouts where it's just hard to make any contacts at all, hardly. And there have been times it's been glorious. You just don't know what it's going to be when you go out to the field. So let me tell you about what we're doing today. I'm really excited. I'm using a radio that I don't use a lot in the field, but I use a whole lot at home, which is my Elecraft KX3. I absolutely love this radio. This is like one of the very best field radios on the market, in my opinion. So Thomas, why don't you use this in the field more often? Oh my goodness, is it dusty. See, this sits in my shack next to, this is my main station. In the shack, I'm dusting it off. I'm sure none of you have dusty shacks. It sits next to my main operating position at my computer, and is hooked up to my Elecraft KX 100 amp. So it's kind of a stationary sort of radio. That's a little more presentable. And so I use it all the time. And I usually use it at QRP power, right around 5 watts. I very rarely engage the ATU, but it is in line, and it's there if I needed it. Actually, I have engaged it recently to try to work CY0S and to work Bouvet as well. So I have used the ATU. I'm not a purist in terms of QRP. I just operate QRP like 99.7% of the time. So I love this radio though. And the reason I don't take it to the field a whole lot is because I also have a Elecraft KX3, and frankly, it's just even that much more of a field radio that suits my particular needs, which is, you know, just between 80 and 10 meters, super portable, built-in battery, built-in ATU and everything. So the KX3 tends to just reside at home for the most part, but I do like to take it out to get a little air because it is a killer field radio. In fact, this is, like I said, one of the best field radios on the market in my opinion. Today, I'm pairing it, of course, with the MC-750, but one of the reasons I wanted to take it out, and one of the only negatives in my world about the KX3 is its little internal speaker is very modest. And when this radio was first introduced, I think a lot of us were just surprised it even had an internal speaker. The internal speaker is very modest. It's very quiet. It doesn't do very well in videos when I do them. And I've got a cure for that now, though. So let's talk about that and the reason why I brought the KX2 out today. So I'm going to get in this, see this bag here, and pull out, let me grab my glasses so I can read off of this. This is a little Anker speaker that I picked up after posting something on QRP or about it. You can read that in the description below. I'll probably link to that original article by Mike Rochberg, and he tested a whole bunch of field amplified speakers, like speakers that you could take to the field that are amplified and have an internal battery and an auxiliary input, which is getting harder and harder to find. I have been using for the past year and a half, 2 years, some Sony speakers that work amazingly well. They're slightly bigger than this one, but about the same form factor and everything. But they're no longer produced, so you have to go on eBay and buy them used. I decided to get his get this Anker speaker and give it a go because he wanted a speaker to pair with his KX3. And since that posting, I've had several people write me and say that they bought this speaker and they really loved it. I bought it the moment that Mike sent in the report about it, and it's very affordable. It's under $30. Really built nicely, I have to say. I really like this, and it's got a bunch of features. But the great thing is it has a physical on and off switch and an auxiliary input. So we're going to see how this pairs with the KX3 today. I'm looking forward to that. So I didn't set up anything else. For one reason, I want you to see what's in my kit here. I got everything out that I need from in here, do I? Nope, you know what? I'm going to grab one key that I think I have in here. Yes. And this is the key I'll use today, I believe, which is the TP3. I want to use it another time and see what I think about it. Plan to pair this. Plus, hey, it'll look good in photos, won't it? Don't buy a key because of the way it looks. Buy it because of the way it performs. It's just great that we have so many keys that look good and perform well. And this is one of them. If I'm being really honest, you know, I love this key. I probably prefer the SP4 to it because it has a little bit bigger pads and it's just kind of in a shape I like better, but this is a really nice key. And the reason why, it's engineered beautifully and a really nice precision. You know, it's great. It's got magnets on the bottom of it and they're made in Germany, and he does a fantastic job with these, so it's great. It's just my own personal preference. I think I prefer the SP4. That's a key that I have just really grown to love. That's in this kind of really compact form factor. But the great thing about this one is also it's all really nicely enclosed, and you can throw it in a pack and not worry too much. I'm brutal with my keys. I don't really go to any great lengths to protect them. I did have this one in a little small bag here, mainly just to keep these two pieces together, but I'm kind of rough on them in general. Okay, let's move this out of the way and I'll show you what we're going to do to power the radio. So the KX3 does not have an internal battery, but that isn't an issue, of course, because I've got a battery with me. And I've got it in my Blue Ridge Overland Gear. It's called a Gadget bag that they produce. It's actually a pretty sizable bag, and I love this thing. Hopefully by now I've posted a video about this. If not, then let me show you what this is all about. One of my readers reached out to me and told me about this company that makes these bags in Virginia, in Bedford, Virginia. and it's for the overland community primarily, and he's an overlander, and he said, you know, I use these and I use them for radio stuff too. So I reached out to Blue Ridge Overland Gear and said, you know, I'm going to plan to buy this gadget bag, but as you'll see, it's a very modular pack. And I said, can you do me a favor? Can I request a bunch of things? You send it to me, not on loan, but just send them all to me. Allow me to check it out and see what I want to keep. Because I told them I wanted to test them and evaluate them and see how the different pouches work together so I could post it here on YouTube and on QRP.com. And they said, sure, we can do that. So I will be buying all of this stuff very soon. In fact, by the time you're watching this, I'm sure I will have already done that because I love it. It's a little big for soda or something, but for POTA, it's wonderful. And so how it works is you've got these like MOLLE attachments on the front if you really want to use that. It's got a huge Velcro patch on here that you can stick more of their packs to. But inside, it's very modular. So you can see how this is laid out. I've got 3 of their smaller little internal zipper packs on one side and 2 of their bigger ones on the other side. But there are a lot of other ways that you can configure this. In fact, the way I've done it here recently, I had 2 of these little packs out with one larger pack in here that also attaches to the back of the headrest in the driver's seat of my car. Because they make a Velcro pad that goes around your headrest, and then you can put a radio kit in there. And I've got a fully contained radio kit in there that I'll show in a different video. But like these packs are big enough, like this one has a throw line in it, what I call my bare bones throw line, which is just basically the weight and the throw line, and that's it. There's no bag, no nothing to put in. It's 25 meters of line. This pack right now has the TR35 in it. I don't know that I'm going to keep it in this particular pack, but it's in there. This one has like basically my field toolkit. It's kind of funny. Jason KM4ACK recently did a great video about his little toolkit, his tool EDC kit. And I had a couple of the components already, but I didn't know about this knife by SOG. And I'll have links to all this stuff in my QRP post as well. But this is designed for electricians. So it has all these different, you can actually go into this knife and use it to strip, you know, a wide variety of different cables, you know, different wires. You can strip them, and that is so nice because it even has a little attachment there. I mean, it's a fantastic thing for stripping wire. And I missed out on the Leatherman tool that all of my friends at the Ham Radio Workbench podcast have. They stopped making them, and the prices on eBay used are just outrageous. But this kind of does the same thing. Plus, it's just a really nice, handy knife. I like this knife. It's a good knife. But it's kind of cool. It shows an outlet on there. These are made for electricians. And I also have a little multimeter. I happen to have this one as well. I think Jason had that. A lot of other people that want compact multimeters. This is a really good one. I'll probably do a separate video someday about all of my, you know, just some of the tools I keep. But it's not nearly as elaborate as Jason's and some others. It's pretty basic. But this is a nice little small multimeter that I can carry with me. And I kind of like that. Though these little things want to pop out every time I open it. If I forget to put links on QRP.com, let me know. But anyway, this is kind of like my little tool pouch. This is really the power setup, and I'm going to grab a few things out of this right now. This is a 12 volt, 3 amp hour battery. This is the little battery tester. I'll show you how that works. I did it in a previous video as well, I believe. I'll bring my little power pole distribution panel here. And I'll need this as an audio cable. This has some ferrites on it coming out of the radio. Let's see, what else do I need here? That may be it right now, actually. And this pack here has more antenna stuff, including my T1 ATU is in here. I've got a random wire antenna. I've got a 40 meter end-fed half wave in here, and some RG316 plus a common mode choke. So I've got basically everything I need for my antenna side of things. I don't need any of this today, though. The cool thing about this pack, though, is you can reconfigure it. So like this pulls out, and so I could move, you know, this pack here. If I wanted to, just put it in here, then put this one on top. I can rearrange them however I want to. I could put 3 on both sides. I could put 2 of these large ones on both sides. It's just very configurable. And I see this for me being replacing a big box I keep in my car with all of the extras for the radios that I don't have dedicated field kits for. This is going to be the central field kit, so that I know I always have my antennas, a fresh battery and everything else. Speaking of fresh batteries, what I was going to show you is this little battery tester, and I'll link to this as well. One of my readers sent this to me probably 1.5 years ago now, maybe 2 years ago. And I've never really featured it on the channel. They just sent it to me for fun. He does these as little projects, but he does sell a few of them. So I'll put a link to him, and I've probably already included this in the video already, but it's a really simple tester. So when you plug it in, it then gives you an indicator. This is 2 LED lights flashing. I don't know how well that'll show up in the video. It'll either be 2 LED lights flashing, a green light, a yellow light, or I think just a red light. But I actually find that with my LiFePO batteries, it's either this flashing red, green, possibly a little bit yellow, and then just nothing, because the BMS inside the battery turns off the battery essentially before it goes too low in voltage. But this is telling me that the voltage is higher than I think 3.2 or 5, I can't remember now, which is common. That just means I freshly charged this battery. So probably by the time we finish operating here today, it'll just show a green light, but it's perfectly fine for this paired with this radio. Just a nice way to really quickly check and make sure your battery's good before you start operating. But of course, what I always try to do is recharge my batteries, you know, after use. After I've used them a couple of times, I'll usually recharge them. Oh, and people ask me about the why I use a distribution panel. I've been asked this a lot actually lately. Well, first of all, this is the Ham Radio Workbench DC distribution panel, the first generation. This is no longer sold. I bought this at Hamvention, I think in 2019. Put it together, loved it. This is one of their more popular kits. I'm now, in full disclosure, on the crew of the Ham Radio Workbench podcast, along with Mark, Mike, Vince, George, and did I say Mark? Mark, George, Mike, Vince, and Rod. And they've come out with a new one that they designed, and it's now sold on DigiKey. And we hopefully, by the time this video is posted, it may only be about another month down the road before they start to have those in stock. And it's even a more robust version of this particular kit. This one's just really the board, and I bought this little separate 3D printed panel with the little acrylic top. I bought it separately from a ham in Alabama back in the day. But again, these are no longer sold. You'll want to go to DigiKey, and I'll have links to that, to the new distribution panel, and they'll soon be back in stock this year. Why do I use it? I use it for the fuse. Occasionally, I will attach something else to it, like something to charge my phone or charge my battery, like separate batteries or something like that. I will do some of those things sometimes. But right now, I'm just using it because I've got it, because I want to have a fuse going into the radio, because the cable I brought with me today actually is not fused. It's just the standard old cable. It's this one. So it's a little excessive for what I'm doing here, but we got it. So there you go. That is the Blue Ridge Overland bag. As is typical. I'm trying to be good. I'm trying not to talk too much about the bags, because I could go on and on and on about them. Okay, so let's set up the radio here. So what I'll do today, I was thinking about this in the car on the way over. The Chelegance MC-750 can be set up to be resonant on any of the bands I'm going to operate today, and I am going to start on the 10 meter band and work my way down. I have no clue if there's going to be any activity at all on 10 meters, but we'll go for it anyway. And that should be fun doing that. So let's plug this in here. There we go. So yeah, a little excessive. If I were doing this with soda, of course I'd have just an inline fuse in my power cord. There'd be no need to have a distribution panel, because today I'm not using anything separate, but there you go. I will plug in the headphones in here. We'll plug in the key. Oh, that's Mike. My key is here. I'll probably have to reset everything up inside the radio, to be honest, because I don't And we'll put, now you probably won't see the speaker, I'm going to put it beneath the camera here. Speaking of the camera, we'll go ahead and plug it in because you know what? Probably going to deplete this battery if I'm actually on the air as long as I want to be. I suspect there's going to be a lot of dead air time today. I have a hunch that the higher bands are not doing as well right now, but maybe I'm wrong. Here we go. Let's make myself a nice space, set up my logs now. I did schedule my activation in advance on the POTA website. So that should help me. Let me get signed in here on my Surface Go tablet. Let's see here. Okay, amateur contact log. I use N3FJP's amateur contact log to do my logging when I have my Windows tablet. Now, I could use hammers on the Windows tablet as well, but I've had this in here a long time and it's configured for this, so this is what I'm going to use. Let me, I know that one's saved because I remember what activation that came from. So here we go. We'll delete this now. Are you sure you want to delete it? Yes. And now me being paranoid, let me double check my park number before I put it in my logs and get it wrong for the whole thing. I think it's K6856. I'm actually not good with numbers. Most people, like with park numbers, they just remember them like no problem at all. So K-6856, Zebulon Vance, yep. So now all I'll have to do in N3FJP is go in here and tell it the band I'm operating on. The mode is CW. My SIG info is K-6856. And I just put it back over here and we're ready to rock. Oh, yes. I also need to get my pencil. There we go. For the logbook. Here we go. So, oh, sorry. So my plan is to turn off the ATU on the KX3, see what the SWR is like. If it's acceptable, the way I've deployed it, I deployed that for 10 meters right now. If it's acceptable, then I'll just keep operating. If it's a little off and I feel like I need to tweak it a bit, I'll turn the ATU back on, just finish off the match doing it that way. It may not be perfectly efficient, but it'll be fine for what I'm doing today. Okay, let's turn on the speaker. Speaker has an interesting little like thing it does when it's like when you first turn it on. And I can turn up the volume on this, of course. Okay, that's up to the top. Okay, let's see, and that. What am I doing here? Right, I need to go up to the 10 meter band. Get everything else set up here. I wouldn't be too surprised if it picks up some of the noise from my phone. Sometimes that does happen. Here we go. Okay, there we go. Am I hearing anything here? Oh, menu. Turn off my ATU mode auto bypass. Wow. I've got it set up for, I don't even have it set up for a paddle right now. I wonder if that was because I was using external keyer with it. Iambic, hand, oh, you know, there's a reason I did it. So tip is dash. Yeah, no. Dit. Okay. Left is dash. There we go. Okay. Okay, let me check the There we go. RF gain was way down for some reason. It doesn't need to be down on the 10 meter band. Again, I was trying to work some de-expeditions with this, which is probably the reason why it was that way. I'm not hearing a lot of activity here. It's a little on the fast side, but I'll leave it there now and I'll just slow down my cadence if I start working people. Okay, let's see. 28 March 2023, K6856 Vance, and then I'll actually put on here KX3 MC-750. This just reminds me of what combination I was using. 10 meter CW, and the time right now is let's see. So it's 1333, 13, 14, 15, 16, 7. It's 1700 hours. That's right. That's right. I was questioning myself there a little bit. See, we're in Eastern Daylight Time now, and it changed the offsetting for here on the Eastern Coast to 4 hours. Okay, let's go ahead and start calling. And I'm having to remember to do this now because I'm not used to using the calling feature at home on the KX3, and the KX3 configuration is slightly different than the KX2. I'd like to work at least one station on 10 meters. That'd be awfully fun. The SWR is about a 1.2 to 1. That's very acceptable. Oh yeah, let me check the RBN or the POTA spots page. Let's check and see. Ooh, somebody in Germany. See, it's so great now on the spots page. Oh, good. Yeah, 21 dB, where I was picked up by what? Is that TI7W? Probably a contest station. $10 meters, though, there will be less people on it. I'm not expecting any pileups on 10 meters, which is actually kind of welcome right now. I don't mind sometimes not having pileups. Way more relaxing. And being able to do these other bands, like 10 meters, between 10 and 17, also opens it up to some people I don't normally work, and that's kind of fun too. Oh, maybe I should try to send something on Twitter as well. Oh, I need to take some photos too while I'm thinking about it. With my videos, you always get to hear the camera snapping. Okay, let's see if I can hop on Twitter and send a tweet. $68.56. I'll put POTA on here. Oh, I do have it set for 5 watts, by the way. Okay, let's tell it to get a photo. I think I've got enough of a connection here that I can get this to send. It's actually a pretty good connection today. I had a really busy weekend. I did the QSO Today Ham Radio Expo was this weekend. I mean, which for you was like a month ago. For me, it was this past weekend, and I was very heavily involved with the Ham Radio Workbench crew, of course, and we had a great live stream Friday night that went from about Eastern time from about 9 o'clock till a little after midnight, and was just great fun with Troy, also kind of moderating, I guess you'd say. Wasn't one of our typical shows. And also participated in the roundtables most of Saturday off and on, and it was great meeting so many of you out there. Thank you so much for the kind comments you passed along then. It was great meeting some of these people in person, and it was a great show. I actually missed most of the presentations, but I will go back later and watch them offline. Eric posts all the videos for the attendees to watch, because it's hard to commit to an entire weekend, especially for me, to actually watch them live. So I end up watching them afterwards. Accidentally hit my key. It doesn't sound like we're gonna get a lot of action on 10 meters. Let's see here if I'm still getting. Now 3 dB, and that's from PJ2A. So that's pretty weak there. It's probably also indicating that the band's, you know, in a state of QSB here. But I follow the RBN numbers because they are kind of telling as to like the direction your signal's going, and it gives you like a little tiny bit of a snapshot. From home lately, when people have been activating on 10 meters, though, the past couple days, and again, it has to do with propagation, 10 meters has been fantastic some days. I mean, just absolutely crazy fun. And then other days, it's kind of dead. And the past couple days, I haven't been able to work like anyone on 10 meters. Try one more time here, see if it refreshes. And I'll move down to the 12 meter band next. I would like to get one person, just one person. I'm liking the speaker a lot. You know, for being kind of in a neighborhood, because this little park is very much slammed in the neighborhood. There's a few houses across the road. There's a farm here next door. In fact, this farm kind of surrounds it. It's actually really RF quiet out here. It's pretty impressive. Go one more time, and then we'll move down to 12 meters. Okay, we'll move down. Now what I'll do is go to the antenna, and we'll move the antenna to the 12 meter, or the 12 meter position. I usually go around the QRP calling frequency. Oh, I know what that is. That's CY03 right there. I need to stay way far away from that. Let's go down here. I need to be below that. But you hear how nicely the KX3 handles that? Handles it beautifully. Okay, here we go. I'll take you with me over to the antenna. Again, not a lot of fuss. If it's not quite right, I'm not going to go back out to the antenna and tweak it. I'll just turn on the ATU and finish it off. Let's go out here. And let's see here. Right now it's on 28 megahertz right here. 24 megahertz. We'll try that now. See how that works. Sorry for all the camera mess here. You're hearing a little camera noise. Let's see how close we are to having a good SWR. .5 to 1. You know what? We're just going to go with that. This is making me wonder, did I ask QRL on the 10 meter band? Even though it was dead as a doornail, I should have done that if I didn't do it. May have gotten ahead of myself. By the way, being close to that DXpedition, in terms of activity for me, will have no bearing on it at all. None whatsoever. I did change it to 12 meters here on the side. It would be awfully fun to get somebody on 12 meters. I'm actually wondering if I've ever worked a hunter in the field on 12 meters. I can't remember, to be honest. 12 meters is like 17 and 30, and then it's a really good place to escape during contest, if it's a contest weekend. But of course, propagation needs to be in your favor when you're on these higher bands. You really do need to have conditions in your favor. Oh, let's see if I'm being spotted. Yes, 8 dB from TI-7W again, which is showing that, you know, it's taking a substantial hop from here. It's probably, to be honest, it may be hopping over most of the hunters, and that's one of the things about using these higher bands. If it's not open to Europe for me, it could very well be hopping out to sort of spots where there are just less hunters around this time of day. And this is a weekday. This is a Tuesday, early part of the afternoon. A lot of people are at work. But I bet we'll have more activity on 20 meters because that footprint really does encompass a lot of people, a lot of hunters and stuff. You have to really think about this, especially if you live, like, say, in Alaska, Washington State, Oregon, BC, Alberta, even Saskatchewan, down through Montana, the Dakotas. You have to really kind of think about where your propagation footprint's going to land, because you want it to be in an area with a lot of hunters, a lot of POTA hunters or soda chasers, and plan accordingly. Because if you're, for example, if you're using like the 80 meter band during the day, or like even late morning, you'll find that like you're only opening it up to the states around you. And if you're in South Dakota, there's just not a lot of population density in that area. Whereas 40 meters will catch more of the mid-Atlantic, or not mid-Atlantic, but probably the Ohio Valley, and maybe out to the mid-Atlantic. Ooh, did I hear somebody there? If I did, they're super, super, super faint. There's a little QRM there. Okay. Okay, we'll move down to the 50-meter band. Do the same thing I did just a moment ago. Let's change the antenna length here, the whip. Here we go. It's up here so you can see. So I'll move it from 24, 21 megahertz. There we go. We're at 21 megahertz now. It's getting taller and taller, this antenna. So it is a pain to move this camera around here. Here we go. Let's give this a go now. I really do appreciate you coming along with me today. Let's see how close we got it. Let me just check something real quick. Always want to make sure. Put it up to about 6.2. I think 6.2 is where I normally like to go. 1-to-1 SWR. This is why I like this Chelegance so much. It's so nice to have a, you know, a proper resonant vertical antenna option. Oh, the antenna, okay, that's it. Had the attenuator on. Now I need to have the preamp on. I don't know why the attenuator was on. So I'll get back here on my logs. Tell it 15 meters. There we go. Come on, let's work somebody. I don't want to have to race my 17. Oh, I do need to put in here, I like to do this. So 12 meters CW, 15 meters CW. I like to remember where I was on the bands, because I can then really quickly look at my logs. I get a lot of people ask me too why I don't put down RST, the signal reports. And I don't do it because it's not required for POTA. In fact, you don't submit it doesn't take into account your RST at all, any of those numbers. If someone sends me a QSL and they really want an accurate RST, then I can go back in my video and look. Frankly, that's a way I can kind of cheat. Normally I just don't write them down for POTA, because I don't think a lot of times it's the goal of POTA is to be giving accurate, I do give accurate signal reports, but it's rare that someone wants to use. That's a very strong signal. Path into Texas. get you in the logs here. That was nice to get a few contacts there on 15 meters. I got the better part of an hour right now still. This is gonna be a long video. A very long video. So by the way that I stop the message when it's doing a CW message memory like this and repeat is I just tap the key, or I can hit the transmit button or pretty much any other button, and that'll stop it. But I've got the filter. Normally I have my filter set a lot wider than this. I think I had it set narrow because I was chasing a de-expedition. Let's go home. Yay, Alaska. I was hoping he was in Alaska. Montana, nice. Oh, S-O. And I need to correct this in my logs real quick. It should be an S instead of an H. Okay, KG. Loving the speaker. We'll do the CQs one at a time. Grab my water while I'm waiting here. One must stay hydrated. Loving this speaker. It sounds great. Oh, wait, no, that was not for... I thought that they had faded out. There we go. I was making an assumption there. That's a great signal. Okay, he was just confirming that that was the correct call. I got 7 contacts now on, or 10 contacts now on 15 meters, which means I have the valid activation already. Funny part is I'm a little too if anything with the TP3 is I'm a little heavy-fisted, and when I'm slapping it around, sometimes it doesn't like that because it's a little too precise for that. I do like this key though. I like it a lot. In fact, I like this, don't tell anyone, I like it better than the Palm Pico. I've got a Palm Pico recently, bought it from one of my readers, and I like the Palm Pico a whole lot, but I like the action of this one, and it's really solid feeling yet still pretty lightweight. It's a good key. It's not a cheap key. It's a real treat to put Alaska in the logs anytime, so I really appreciate it, KL7AC. Okay, now we're going to try the 17 meter band. See how it might perform. Let's go change the antenna. Here we go. Do this little process again. You're probably getting tired of this, aren't you? I'm not. This is how easy it is, though. See, I could have I could easily be using like my IC705 or another radio that doesn't have an ATU, and use this antenna with it, and just make it resonant and be happy. And if I wanted to get that SWRC, it says 18 megahertz right there. So there we are on 17 meters now. If I wanted this to be perfectly resonant, I could tweak it a little bit and do that. It would not take long. I'm just not doing it today because I don't need to. As long as I have an acceptable match, I'm good. People worry too much about POTA and SOTA, especially POTA, I think, because you've got a little more time to do setups and stuff. I think people worry too much about if everything's just so, you know, the SWR is just so. You know, I should have brought my Mike Roachberg's stand to put it a little bit better angle for you to see. It is doing decoding here. Now, the funny part is I never look at that. I've glanced up a couple of times and realized that I hadn't. So let's widen that bandwidth here a little bit. Actually, I prefer a wider bandwidth than a narrow bandwidth. I like my ears to do the thing between my ears to do all of the work. Okay, let's see, 17 meters. CW. Let's hope that 17's doing well. It's a good sign that 15's doing well. If 15's doing well, there's a decent possibility that 17's doing well. But did you notice how 10, 12, nothing was going on there? I think the band was long to begin with, probably not as stable. 15 meters, we were killing it. But we were doing all the way down to Texas, up to Idaho, up in the northwest, even into Alaska, Montana, Idaho, and then Colorado was really nice too. And Washington State, of course, so. You can't see this, but that's a perfect one-to-one SWR. I love this antenna. I just can't tell you how much I love this antenna. It is really nice to be able to have a resonant option because so many of very few of my radios actually have built-in ATUs. I've got the KX, let's just go ahead and get this going. I've got the KX3, the KX2. I had the X5105 that had built-in ATU. I have my Mission RG01 has a built-in ATU. The TR45L does, a manual one. Do I have any others? Oh, my K2 does, and my KX1 have. It's a very limited ATU in the KX1, but my K2 has a full-on ATU. So those radios have them, but the bulk, 2/3 of my radios don't. So it's really nice to have this option of a resonant antenna, because I've got in-fed half waves and stuff, but to have a multi-band antenna to do this like 10, 12, 15, 17 thing, that's hard to do with wire antennas with no ATU. I can do, like with my 40 meter infrared half wave, I could do 40, 20, 15, and 10 maybe, but I couldn't do 12, 17, 30 bands like that. And I can do that with the MC-750. Okay, wait. All right. Good to get him in here again. There we go. He really came up. He has a good YouTube channel too. Check it out. good to work you on 17 meters as well. So I worked him up here. No, wait, okay. All right. Stewart, it's nice to get you in here. Not bad. It's part to part. I'm getting a lot of repeat offenders here. That's nice. I'm listening for weak stations. Okay. I like that call. Oh no, that's just somebody sending stuff. That's not a call sign at all. I was just hearing da 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 da. At first I was hearing M-O or something. Okay, let's move down to the 20 meter band this time. So I call QSY there. Now, if I really thought a lot of people were listening, I would probably say QSY 20 meters DEK4 SWL. Sometimes I don't even think to do that. I just send QSY. So now let's go to the 20 meter band. So let's change this again since we're doing this together. Get up from the nice picnic table seat. And let's change this to the 20 meter band and let's see how resonant we are by the time I do this. Here we go. So 18. And this is basically a quarter wave at this point. That's 7 meters, or 7 megahertz. There we go, 14 megahertz right there. So now we got a relatively tall antenna, still not fully extended. And what I could do, of course, I don't have to make it resonant. I could just fully extend the antenna and just use my ATU to make the match. It's a little more efficient probably doing it this way. And I've got the time, so why not? Now I expect more activity on 20. Maybe I'm wrong. I expect more activity on 20. You know what? I'm not hearing a lot of activity though. So maybe I'm wrong. Okay. Again, perfect one-to-one match. Love that. See how easy that is? There's no fiddling with a coil or anything. It just works. This is reminding me of the reason why I narrowed the filter earlier. There's a little more QR Nancy here on this band, I've noticed too. Which is the static crashes and stuff, and that's because we got a lot of storms and stuff in North America right now. But the wider filter was causing a little bit of pumping in the speaker for some reason, and so I narrowed the filter a little bit. Probably because I got it turned up to the max right now. It probably had something to do with the AGC or something. Who knows? Who knows? So I narrowed it a little bit more and it sounded better. There's noise reduction turned on here. I don't really need it, and it's probably on like its very lowest setting, actually. Let's find out. No, don't want to do chain. Now noise reduction's off. It's on 2. I'll just leave it there. It's already spotted me. 8 dB from W1 NT. Oh, did it? I somehow made that a chain and screwed it up. It's okay. I see a lot lately. There we go. Okay, wait. WA2JMG. I'll come back to you. I thought I heard an X in there. Okay. Good to get you in here. Okay, I think that's W5. I think I got that right. I got it right. Good. No, that's not it. Was that an HVR? Okay. That is hardly good. There. Oh, I may be missing something here. Yeah, I am. N, that's it. N. I think I heard K3ES. We'll try that. Was that him? Oh, that's it. That's probably what I was hearing. Brian, I'm so used to listening for your call sign that I'm hearing it in the ether there. I almost worked you when you weren't there. K3ES works me a lot of the time. There we go. I am going at a little faster clip than normal, but for slow ops, I'm trying to space out my spacing a little bit, if I can remember. I am bad to sometimes. Is that GX? Is that a herd? Good signal, Kyle, man. Kyle has a wonderful channel as well, AA0Z. He's been doing a series on CW. And it's fantastic. Okay, wait. Let me see. I'm going to try one more time. N4. Okay, wait. What was that before? K. That's right. KN. Okay, wait. Okay. That was nice of them to send a second K, and that let me know that K was actually a part of their call, because when your call sign ends with a K, it can be a little confusing. See, Carl is off frequency a little bit, and I could hear straight through everything. I can hear straight through everything else because he's a little off frequency. Even though his signal's... This is the first time I've worked Rhode Island and Alaska. Okay, I think it was K2. The smallest state and the largest state in the same activation. Sorry, you are really more like 5'9". I'm sorry I sent you a 5'9". He gave me a revised report based on QSB. There we go. I'll have to go here in about 5 minutes or less. quite well. Maybe I didn't hear what I was hearing before. I thought I heard a G, but that's... Is there anybody there, really? Gotcha. I heard another KI. We'll try that. Thanks for coming back to me, because I was trying to pick out the K9. I never miss you. Always good signal from Wisconsin. I was trying to figure out if I heard a P2. Nope. Oh, QRP. There we go. K1 RIF is going to be my last today. So he was just seeing it. He was sitting QRP. One what? Okay, I've got to, okay, one more. One more, that's it. This is it, really. This is seriously it. I've got to go pick up my girls now. I'm going to have to send QRT. Thank you. I got one. Okay, gotta get off here quickly. I'm really running behind to go grab my daughters from school. Wow, man, that was a lot of fun. I really think I could have worked all states if I'd have just kept going today. It was interesting to see how, 10, 12 was kind of dead. 15 was pretty alive and with a really long throw. Other than Texas, it was a pretty long throw. 17 meters was doing really well today as well. And then 20 meters was just on fire. Kind of like normal. 20 meters is just doing really well these days. But I really appreciate everyone. I wish I could have stayed longer, but I've got like 8 minutes to pick up my daughters. And it's going to take me 5 minutes to put all this stuff up, so I need to do it really quickly. So I'm going to end it right here. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate this. And I hope you have some time this week to play a little bit of radio, hunt from home, chase other stations, go out and activate a park or a summit. Just go have fun. If you have nothing else to do, meet up with some friends and talk radio. Just do a little radio this week if you get a chance. And I'm very impressed with the speaker. I think this sounds wonderful. Wonderful when it's connected to the KX3. I've actually used it with a couple of the radios in the shack, and it sounded great. But I had never paired it with the KX3 until today. Very pleased with this. Really, really do like this little Anker speaker. Thank you so much, Mike, for suggesting it. I'll have details on this speaker in the notes below. Just always look in the bottom, like below the video in the description, and I have a link to QRP.com, and I'll have a link to this. If I can think about it, I'll put its own link on Amazon, and it'll be an affiliate link because it's sold on Amazon, and basically, if it's an Amazon thing, I'll throw in an affiliate link on it. But I bought this off Amazon, and it was less than $30. I think it was like $27 or something, but very, very pleased. It's durable. I like it. Okay, great. Thank you so much for joining me, and thank you for all of your support. I really appreciate it. If you're in a position where you can't join me on Patreon or do coffee funds or anything, that's perfectly fine. This stuff will always be free, but I really appreciate the people who can do that. Thank you so much, and until next time, y'all take care, and 7 3s.